Bum, bum, bum. So everyone, you are live. So everyone, let's welcome Misbah. Hello, Misbah. We're so glad you're here.
Thanks.
So everyone, today's topic is fitness and the life of an expat travel YouTuber. So that is our Misbah. She's an expat in South Korea. And everyone, you can check out her YouTube at Missy, and the link is in the description of this video. She makes some great content about travel. And this is her Insta, Missy ASTB underscore. And I am This Is Fit underscore Leigh. So let's get into the topic. And everyone, please be putting your questions in the comments for Misbah. She wants to hear from you. So could you do a quick self intro? I would love to hear your self intro, even though we're friends already.
Yes. So hi everybody, my name's Missy. I am from the UK, from Manchester in England, and I've been in South Korea for 3 years now as an English teacher. I've been working in high schools for the past 3 years as well.
Oh, gracious. So, and Missy has experience, like teacher experience, like certifications, and she's so qualified. But also she has a lot of experience kind of in the beauty blogging realms. Like she does all this stuff about beauty and honestly made me think more about how to create beauty in daily life. So that's one thing I really appreciate about her. Oh, so we had some comments here. Gideonida. So it's one of my friends said he's looking forward to it. Lavanya says hello, hi, and Ryan says hi. What's up?
Hello.
Okay, Ryan, I'm glad that you're here. Ryan is my Korean friend and he has really fun, interesting English. So everyone, if you have questions for Missy about her life, about Korea, about travel or expat life, please let us know. We would love to see it. Oh, hi, Clancy. Good to see you. Glad to have you here as well. So let's uh, let's remember again. We can check out Missy's Insta here, and her YouTube is in the description. It's fantastic. So we did our self intro, and now I was wondering, can you talk about how you first came to Korea? What made you want to come here?
Yeah, all that type of stuff. Well, I had this thing where I loved K-pop as a teenager. I loved Korea from then. I didn't know about Korea until I actually did taekwondo and listened to some K-pop around like 15 to 17, and then I was like, oh, I actually find Korea so interesting, and I was like, oh, I hope to visit there one day, and that was like 16, 17, and then about 10 years later, when I was 26,
Mm.
teaching in England for 4 years. I was like, oh, I've always wanted to teach abroad. And I had a colleague actually, she worked in Busan for 6 years and with Epic. And I was like, oh, what's that? And then I also had a friend who taught in Japan and a few friends that taught in the UAE. So I just asked them all questions. And then I just decided Korea was the best fit for me. So,
The I just think that's so lovely because I've been composing theories about how and why people come to Korea. And one part of the theory is that you have to be able to connect with the culture in some way. You have to be able to like love something, whether it's K-pop or K-dramas or food. Like you have to get a foot in the door of liking the culture. And the second theory is that you have to have known someone from Korea. Like you have to have met someone who has been here.
yeah.
And sounds like that was your situation. Your friend that had taught in Busan. Busan is one of our oceanside countries, and let's see, already subbed up another subscription for you. He says, "Okay, pop, yeah." Well,
I mean, I feel like it's a very typical answer, but I'm not gonna lie, because some people kind of get embarrassed and don't want to admit that they came in from K-pop. I have no shame, that's my journey. So
well, it's, I think so many people knock K-pop, but it is the gateway. It's the
it is.
starting point for so many people, and we need an easy way in. I think very few people fall in love with another country because of its deep classical literature.
Right, right, of course. Like no one ever says that. Even for the UK, for example, no one will say. Some people might say, oh, I do love some Shakespeare or something. But you don't go to England for that. They'd be like One Direction, football, for other things, the Queen. You know, there's other things that they like about the UK. So I think, like you said,
Exactly.
foot in the door. Yeah.
Right. There's some good points about the UK. Like so many people are just charmed by England, and it's usually the lighter things. Oh, hello from Bolivia. Good to see you.
Hi, thanks.
So that's a good point. So I like that kind of the original interest was K-pop, but that you took maybe 8, 9, 10 years before you actually came here. So like the idea was of Korea was implanted early, and
Right.
then later you got here. So a little bit of fitness talk, because I know you've been doing a fair bit of working out the last couple years. So I wanted to ask you, what's your fitness background? Like, were you active as a kid, like always moving? Did you do sports in college? What's your style?
Well, yeah, like I was in love with martial arts from a young age. My dad was martial arts, did karate and back home, and so I always had this thing for martial arts. And then the taekwondo kind of opened up in my area. I was like, oh, what's taekwondo? Let me try that out, and I was obsessed with it. So, but when I was in school, I was involved in all the sports. Like in the UK, it's slightly different to America. Like you can join a team, but it's not like a big deal. It's just something you do after school. And we have like sports teams playing, but nobody comes to watch our games. Like we don't watch each other's games. It's just the next day there'll be an announcement. Oh, we won against that school. We lost against that school. It was never. It's not like in America where everybody goes. You have a big field. It's not even like that. So I did all PE, every type of sport in PE except for volleyball. I wasn't very good at volleyball.
I love that though, that like American high school sports and British high school sports would be so different.
Right, because
It's
I
great.
thought it was just a movie thing, like with the American movies, like oh, the big games, it's game day and all this, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. But in England, I was like, that's not a thing. Then I actually found out it's true. Like in America, schools do that, and I was like, oh, I thought it was just in the movies. So I was involved in sports, but it wasn't like a jock thing or a popular thing. It was just I hate PE or I like PE, and I liked. Yeah.
Right, I'm glad you did, and I just think that's so cute. Like, guys, that is the difference. The difference between America and England, it pops up every once in a while, or America and Great Britain,
Right.
and it's just so funny, like how enthusiastic we
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
Americans. Like we take ourselves so seriously. We're the best. We're excited, and it really
Yeah,
is that way.
we're so chill about it. We're like, is it that deep? No, we don't care. I mean, people are very passionate about football and football teams, but not in school. It's like the professional football. But
Right, kind of in its own place. So we got hello from Sri Lanka from Kavinu. Oh, Kavinu is a young student, I think last year of elementary school, maybe. And I know him, and he studies very hard. We got a hello from Layla. Layla's from Saudi Arabia. Hello, your beautiful guest. It's good to see you. Oh, let's see. She is action material. Okay.
put me in James Bond.
And we think you are amazing. And we got how are you both doing?
Yeah.
It's so how are you doing today? What was the weather like in Seoul today?
So it was started off quite nice, and then it was quite warm. Then the clouds rolled in, and it was raining towards the evening. But I had a lovely time. I connected with an old friend, so it was nice. Yeah.
That is kind of a nice thing about Korea is there's a lot of people who have lived in Korea a long time ago that come back to visit or to live, kind of a boomerang effect. And even your Korean friends, even if you've only known them for a few years, like you develop some really nice relationships and you get to like re-meet people. So I'm doing well too. Are you Scottish?
No, I'm English, but I have had a few people tell me and ask me, am I Scottish from my accent? But no, my accent is Manchester, so Manchester's northwest.
Ah, ah, ah.
But I have had a few like Canadians or people ask me, am I Scottish? And I'm like, I sound nothing like Scottish people, but maybe because it's not quite London accent and it's a bit more flat like the Scottish accent, people say that. But
Maybe that's it.
It doesn't sound to me at all. If you said that to a Scottish person, they would cry laughing and say, "She's not Scottish. She's not Scottish." But
You don't sound like what I know of Scottish, but I think it's, there's so many varieties of English accent. Even in England, got like Scouse, and there's so many Geordie. There's so many things.
every city has its own accent, so yeah.
It's America is not as diverse, I think. We're just so big. We have a few basic accents. But here's a great comment. Did Korea change how you see beauty in any way after having lived in Korea? Culture differences and different values, etc. Oh, I like that.
Yes, honestly, I had, a very Western perception of beauty, and I came to Korea and saw the difference. But thankfully, I haven't really. I changed myself in some ways, but not like my makeup style, because I do believe like the makeup style suits. Different makeup style suits different faces. You have to find the right makeup style for you. Like if I was to do a Korean, I actually did a Korean makeup on my channel by my friend, my Korean friend. She did it, and she did a great job, but it didn't quite suit me because it doesn't suit my shape and stuff. So I was like, never. But I have gone into Korean skincare a lot, and I have known that in Korea, everyone likes that dewy, shiny, kind of hydrated look, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I think that your skin is a lot healthier when you do it like that.
That's a good point. Like Korean makeup is so different that it doesn't always look good on a Western woman or another other nationality woman.
It doesn't translate right, I think you've got to find that right, fit for your face, your features, your color. It's like more like that. But I think anything different, I think it's just that makeup coloring. Like there is more pinks and reds and more nudes in the West. But I think I have to be more conscious of my weight here, honestly.
Oh, now that's a good question. Could we talk about that one a little bit? Because I think that is that's a good subject to talk about, because one thing I definitely notice in Korea is that people tend to be more conscious of their weight or their body shape, and that is even more true for me being in the fitness world. But could you talk a little bit about how, if there was more pressure or different pressure when you came here, what was that like?
I think first it was like a big hit of I can't fit any clothes in Korea. Korea is interesting. Like if you go to the shops, everything's one size, and I'm like, whose size is this? And it's not mine, because I'm quite tall. I'm 5'7", 170 centimeters. So you're tall too. So you understand. Like even if we bought like a cute top, your crop sleeves to here, like this is from Zara, it fits fine, but I'd be wearing Korean tops this big. So then that kind of started making me self-conscious. Oh, am I too big? I know it's too tall. And then I've just been a bit more conscious of my weight too. And I have been on a fitness journey the past 3 months, which has been quite good. But I did become very conscious of my size. I'm not like necessarily considered a big person.
Oh, no.
In Korean standards, I feel big here. I do.
Right. It's and I from what I know from everyone, like no one, even in Korea, would consider you big or overweight or anything, definitely. And yet, if you are a tall woman, if you have a body type that is different than the Korean body type, because things are not made to fit you, you can feel like you don't fit.
Yes.
And that is what happens to us so often.
Very true. And it just puts it like on a spot, like, am I cute? Am I ginormous? But it's not. It's not the same body style. Like if you have like, if you're more curvy, which I am, I start to think, oh no, I can't fit this. But I'm like, no, I'm not necessarily big. It's just that the Korean body figure is not very curvy. So they're gonna make clothes for the majority of the people here, not just the majority of people.
And for anyone curious, there are good ways to do some shopping in Korea at any body size. You just have to move it around. Let's see. Oh, we had an accent comment. I feel your accent is similar to American accent, even though you're from England. So, the person who thought.
I do think that I have had to say some words Americanized, because if I have my true accent, my English accent, nobody can understand me because they only understand received pronunciation or London accent. My accent is very flat. So I think I have had to say things with an American twang sometimes so people understand me because I have people who will be like, oh, that's an American word. I'm like, yeah, because you won't know if I say it in British accent.
Do you say water?
Yeah, I will. No, I'll say water. Yeah, I'll say it with a T, but from where I'm from, I'd say water. That's
Water.
water.
Cup of water.
That's what I'm talking about. So I feel like, can I have some water, please? Or I have to go water sometimes. I will put the accent on. If I say water and no one knows, then I'll go water. Because I even sometimes I'll be like, oh, mul juseo. And they'll be like, mul? And I'm like, mul, water? Like, going to
Water.
you know? Yeah.
So we had another question. Why do English teachers move to Korea? Why do you think that so many of us come here?
I think it depends on the person. Like, for example, I have always loved traveling and I've always loved the idea of living abroad. And for living abroad, I don't want to be just like, some people will move for like a working visa and they'll just do odd jobs just to live in that country. I wanted something more secure that was linked to my job. So I felt like I was doing something that's within my career field. So I came to Korea, or I'd like to move abroad in different countries because it's just a way of traveling and living another lifestyle while keeping your career, I think.
Exactly. It's for those of us who really like traveling and really like being abroad, you're exactly right. A steady job is the way to do it, to actually get employment in that country.
Yes.
We got your accent is interesting and beautiful. Let's see. We got Misbah. I clicked your channel before seeing Leigh's live. You got a number of subs, but he'll subscribe later. So
thank you.
Got more people. And we had a question up here. It was about fitness. Since we moved on to fitness a little bit, did Korea influence how you define fitness and work toward fitness?
I think
that's a little different. That's a little different.
I think it didn't make me think of fitness in a different way, but I know that I always wanted to go to the gym, but I went to the gym in the UK, but I didn't really know how to use like the equipment. And I honestly find the gym very embarrassing because I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But then I got a PT here when I was in Sejong, like when we were both living in Sejong, and I got a PT when I first got to Suwon, and then I got comfortable with how to use the weights and the machines, and I felt less self-conscious because I knew I always wanted to use the gym through the weights and exercise machines. But I think I've become a bit more confident at the gym. But when I go to the gym, I go in the morning before work because I think the evening's too embarrassing. There's too many people.
Everybody there.
Everyone's there. In the machines. Everyone's like, hurry up.
That is almost my exact story. All my life I had wanted to know how to use the machines, but they were so intimidating. And I had to get personal training because it's really hard to figure out how to use everything by yourself. And Missy, I'm having trouble remembering, but did we meet in the gym?
We did. We did.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Because I had you as a friend on Instagram from the Sejong group, but then I was like, recognized you, I was like, and then you came up to us like, you in the group? I was like, yes, I know you. And that's what's nice about being an expat. We just meet each other and be like, hi, how you doing? And start talking to each other.
And that's one of the nice things about expat life as well, is it's so frequent. If you are foreigners living in another country, there are Facebook connections or Instagram connections. And so when you finally see each other, it's just, oh, long lost friends. I just think that's hilarious. That's where we met when you get down to it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Looks like y'all need put some oomph into that. That's so funny. Let's see. Are you an English teacher in Korea, or you work on something else? She does. She's an English teacher. And what else do you do for anyone coming late to the broadcast? What do you do with your life?
I just kind of do like this influencing. I mean, everyone hates that word, but we need to accept it is the new title of what we do. We are influencers, and I feel like at first I hated that term because people tend to feel guilty and embarrassed, and I'm like, why? That is the name of the job. It's influencing Whether it's good influence from people or bad influencing, I don't know. But I know I'm trying to influence good. End of story. But I'll just do like reviews of like makeup brands, or I love to travel. So I go most weekends, I'm in another city, or I go to Seoul. I try new cafes, restaurants, locations, tourist places. So I don't have another job per se. I have like a hobby that I try to infuse online, you know?
Exactly. And if you guys go to her Insta, you can see all this amazing stuff. I get ideas about places to visit from her.
Thank you. I really love it. So just so helped, you know?
And I wanted to say personally, thank you. Thank you, Missy, for you changed the way I saw beauty. This was, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago when we were together. And I had been for so long self-conscious of taking pictures of myself. I thought people will think I'm so conceited if they see me trying to take different angles, trying to take a beautiful picture of myself. And you just made me see it as like an art form. You made me see it as something totally different and accept it and embrace it as part of loving yourself, because I saw your example doing that. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad I helped. I really did, because I just feel like a lot of the time people will try to guilt trip you and say, "Oh, you're vain for taking a picture." I'm like, how? How is that vain? It's a form of self-love, self-appreciation. Because I just think that we're not going to look like this in the future. We're never going to have a time where we look like this again. So why not capture the moment, enjoy the time that you have? Like, for example, everybody has like good, bad memory or something, but it's nice to capture that memory. And some people, oh, you're not enjoying the time. Enjoy the moment. Stop taking pictures. I'm like, but that is me enjoying the moment. Is taking the photos, appreciating what's around me, because especially in Korea, like the cafe culture. Everybody designs their own cafe so beautiful. And imagine not posting that. They want you to post it. They want you to take pictures because they want you to enjoy their space. And for us to do that in their space, I think it's a lovely like back and forth, and there's nothing wrong with it. But people will try to make you feel bad for it. But I did notice in Korea that people really don't care. Like in the West, maybe in America, and then definitely in the UK, people are like, oh my gosh, she's taking Instagram pictures. Who cares what they think? Because you're not paying my bills at the end of the day. So you have no life. So you can hate me for taking photos.
Not listening to you.
I don't care. I'm enjoying the moment. I'm going to take my photos. But in Korea, everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone's taking pictures themselves. So nobody pays you attention. And, if they're in the way of your shot, they'll get out. Whereas in England, they'll sabotage your pictures. They'll jump in and try and spoil it.
I do appreciate that in Korea, at least there's a lot more, I feel like, there's a lot more respect for the selfie or the friend or the Instagram boyfriend,
right.
Like your friend, your boyfriend, or whoever taking pictures of you. Oh, so how long have you been living in Korea?
I've been here 3 years now. Yeah, just over 3 years. Yeah, I came August 2019.
And do you feel well adjusted? Do you feel like Korean life just goes kind of smoothly now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it took me, when I first got here, 5 months was intense. I felt it was a really big adjustment period. So I think the first 5 to 6 months of your life living as an expat anywhere, particularly Korea, is hard to adjust to. But yeah, things like in a flow, and I can get places easily, go places, I don't get lost anymore. And even if I do, I know how to get out of that situation pretty easy. So it's very second nature to me now living here.
Right. There's different levels of expat life. There's the initial 6 months to 1 year, depending on the place, where everything is new and strange and uncomfortable, and you're really growing a lot. Mm-hmm. And then there's, I kind of got this. Mm-hmm. And some of us, when we get that I kind of got this vibe, we either need to start a big project or live in another country because we keep wanting to grow. Mm-hmm. So we gotta I'll take a look at her Instagram. I hope you do. She's worth looking at. She has the best stories. She goes the best places. And thank you. Compliment. You're beautiful the way you are. How sweet. Oh gosh. Hi ladies. Tough question. So this is my friend Eric and Missy. You also met him with YouTubers Meetup. Hi,
Mhm.
tall guy. In the perfect world, where do you see yourself in 5 years as an influencer?
Mm.
Okay, for me, in 5 years as an influencer, in a perfect world, I would be on television regularly. I would be using my influence on mass media, and also working toward a better future in some way, because I always want to be benefiting the public, not just selling a beneficial product. I want to do good for people who need it. So,
Mm.
and Missy, what about you?
Oh, that's lovely, actually. Yeah, something similar. I would love to have my own like TV show. You know, I'd love to be interviewing people. I'd love to be in the media. I love asking people questions like reporter, hey, interview. I'd love that in 5 years' time. And yeah, just maybe connecting with people, interviewing people coming in from expat life, living in Korea or wherever I am. I don't know, but that's where I want to go with mine.
Oh, marvelous. So in 5 years, we would both like to be in a broader media. We'd
Yes.
like to be having a wider influence, but
Mhm.
always to be good with people. And Missy especially wants to be like connecting with others, like interviewing and stuff, because it's fun. It's fun. I really like the way you behave when you don't care about others' opinions. This isn't she awesome? She's awesome like that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I get that insecurity when I do care, but I think at the end of the day, you have to really stick to what you want to do and not let others affect you. Yeah.
Hey man, you are such an individual, and I love that and respect that. And the way you love and respect yourself, it just I'm
Thank
just,
you.
I'm so jazzed about you being such a great person. So we had a question here for what main language do you speak in Korea?
Oh, I'm awful. I'm speaking English all the time, but I speak a little bit of Korean. Lee's my inspiration. Her Korean is fantastic. Like I want to be like Leigh. Like Leigh is fluent. She can talk and get the jokes, have a conversation, and everything is really, really lovely to see. But I have started back my English classes now that Corona's gone away, so I'm really excited to speak more Korean. But if I go to a shop, I will try and speak Korean about asking for things, shopping around, of course, like default. But it's like if I need an overcomplicated question, I will go to Papago, which is a Korean translator, and I was like, "Oh, 잠시만요," and show the phone, and they're like, "Oh, okay," and
For,
I'll go back and forth with my phone translating.
for anyone who doesn't know, Papago is a great app. It is the best app for translation. You need to use it. Let's see. There's a cool perspective about cafes. I never thought about it that way. I feel less embarrassed about sneaking photos at cafes. Well, thank you, Evan. And it's a good point that they want us to photograph them and promote them. So we are just doing what they would love to have done for them.
And they want us to just appreciate their hard work because I think a lot of Koreans have the dream of opening their own cafe, and like you go around every cafe, if it's not like a chain like Starbucks and Tusum and all that, they have their own themes. Like it's somebody's dream to have like this cafe with these pictures here, with this decor, and you taking pictures shows like you appreciate it too. Like they are like, oh, thank you for taking pictures as well. Not even just for promotion. They can just see that you enjoy the space that they've created as well. That's
Oh, I love that. And that is exactly right. It's like when someone gives you good feedback after an English class. You
right.
worked very hard to make this thing, and someone engaging with and appreciating the thing you made is so valuable. Oh, so we should take more. We should take more. So we got Misbah, you're such an excellent person. You won my heart in this life. Oh.
So sweet. Thank you, Kavinu.
That's why I brought her on here, because I knew you guys would fall in love. She's too precious. Oh, we got a don't be too affected by people who are rude to you. They're probably jealous. That's often true. That's
Yeah,
often true.
I think a lot of people do project onto other people.
Props to her for not suffering any self-consciousness. She's a unit.
Thank you. I do. I'm not going to say I'm perfectly not self-conscious. I do have my moments, but I do try. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's see. Lovely question from Lavanya. Do you have any Korean friends? And they're friendly to people from other countries, is our opinion here. So, do you have Korean friends?
I have a few Korean friends. I have I had one really close friend in Sejong. She moved to Canada, and then I moved to Suwon. Then I had like a couple of friends from university. They were actually on a a 3 month kind of scholarship in my university in England. And I met them there, and I met them when I first got here. And then I haven't been able to see them, but I still connect to them online. And I have just like a few Korean friends that I've met through older people, or my friends who are close to me who are Korean are like Korean Canadian, Korean American, Korean Australian. So they were born in those countries, but they've come here to work here and explore their culture some more. So I have a few Korean friends, I'd say. Not many, but a few. Because I think if I spoke more Korean, I would have way more Korean friends as well.
Exactly. It depends. Like if you're living in Seoul, it's very easy. If you're living in the capital city, it's easy to find Koreans who speak fluent English. But in other places, it's less common. So in that case, the foreigner or the expat needs to have a little more Korean ability to make
Yeah.
those friends happen easily.
Yeah. I do think Koreans are very cliquey as well. Like, so they stick with their friend group. So if you want to get into that friend group, you need to speak Korean. You need to be relatable on some level, because they all grew up together, and they kind of stick together from primary school, high school, college, and they're friends for like life. It's like a unit of friendship.
No,
You know?
and like we said, Koreans are very friendly, but to actually become their friend,
Right.
not
Is
on a like a happy, pleasant
acquaintance.
conversation basis.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you got to exert effort.
Right. Yes. That's definitely.
Let's see. Let's see. So how long have you known Misbah? I it I feel like we met in 2019. I feel like that was because we both lived in the same city. We lived in Sejong, in South Korea. I now live in Wonju, and Missy lives in Suwon, but we're not that far, and we're both YouTubers in Korea, so we have events and meetups that we go to together. So it's nice for me because I like her a lot.
I really like when I see Leigh. Leigh brightens up my day. Leigh is so, the guys know her. She's so positive, smiley, chirpy. Like, she'll make me feel so much better, even if I'm on a grumpy day. And even had some bad times in Sejong. Like, I just hang out with Leigh, and I'd be like, I feel so much better now. Such a lovely person. Like, genuinely, this is not even for show. Leigh is genuinely a lovely person. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm turning red. I'm turning red. Oh, so we got something from Pallavi. Pallavi's our friend from India, right? Hello, Misbah. Amazing live stream. I really love it. Oh,
Oh, thank
let's
you.
see. Oh, so we had a question. Do you have an Indian friend? Do you have any friends from India?
Actually, I have one friend that maybe you guys know her. Her name's Piyu. She was studying here as a student, and now she's doing some studying and working at the same time. She's very famous on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is like Piyu Chino. So she's like one of my Indian friends here, and I have a Pakistani friend from Pakistan. Because I don't know if you guys know my background. I'm Indian and Pakistani, but born in the UK. So I have like some British Pakistani friends, but Indian friend is like only PU that I can kind of think about. Yeah.
The and I love your background. I love like all the diversity you've got going on. And as for me, I do not currently have any friends from India. I have acquaintances on the internet, but I do have one quick story. When I was in Rome, I was staying at a guest house, and you make these beautiful little guest house friendships or hostel friendships, and because you want to go like sightseeing together. And there was an Indian girl who was a PhD student who was staying in the same place. And my entire heart was given to her. I just loved her so much. And so I want more Indian friends in the future. So, Missy, maybe you can hook me up with your friend because I think she sounds lovely.
She's great.
Let's see. Do you have a friend who's from my country? And your country is the Philippines, correct? Do we have Philippine friends?
I have a lot of Filipino friends, actually. I have 3 of my close friends are Filipina. They are like British born. Well, 2 of them are British born Filipina. Well, not British born, born in Philippines, moved to the UK, and now in Korea. And then one friend, she's Canadian, no, American, sorry. She was born in Philippines, moved to America, and now she's here. She's been here 6 months. So I have quite a couple, a few, and then I have one photographer friend. He's Filipino, but he's in the U.S. Army, and he's a photographer I worked with, and his name's Andrew.
Euphoric photography. Is this like euphoric? Yes, we're Instagram friends. I want to work with him when he comes back. But he's a G. I like him.
I love people from Philippines. So lovely and so relatable. I really like them.
True, and they all sing. They all sing really well.
Yeah, do you know what? My friends are so mad. They're like, we don't have the singing do, but our siblings might. And I'm like, that's so funny.
Let's see. So Layla said Leigh's the most positive person I've met in my life. Thank you.
Really?
And, let's see. Ryan said Pakistan, where's my dad works is in Pakistan. I did not know that about you, Ryan. Wow. And Pallavi says amazing. Let's see. He's a G, an OG. No, he's a really cool guy. He's legitimately a cool guy. And Kim says, Leigh's a friendly, amazing person. I appreciate her a lot. She's good for me to talk about health science. So cute. Oh, we got another one here. As influencers, how would you approach opportunities working with corporates or corporations, which guarantees financial stability and exposure and other benefits, but doesn't always align with your values?
Oh, that's a good one.
So
honestly, I kind of refuse to give reviews that are not honest, because I think I built my channel on like reviewing like some skincare and hair products like honestly. So for me, like even if they were giving me money, I say, can I give an honest review? And some of them are like, yes, you can, totally. Some of them like, no, you have to keep it positive. Just don't mention the negative. I'm like, I can't really do that. I have actually had to let down a couple of companies because, like, in Korea, like they can have the defamation law. So even if you said, I don't like this product because it made me break out, they could potentially sue you in Korea. They're very big on defamation. And even though that is not defamation, that is you giving your genuine opinion, they can sue you for that. So I've like pretty much refused to review. Like one skincare brand I'm not going to mention actually sent me some of their stuff. And I just said, okay, I'm enjoying the product, but then I didn't see much difference and I left it like that. So they never sent me anything again, which is fine. Because again, I don't really want to use a product that doesn't work for me. What's the point?
Yeah. Exactly. So I think it's something that even if it's even in the case of if it's money, even if it's connection, even if it's power, I think you always have to refuse anything that would make you either lie outright or silence an opinion. It's just so important to maintain your own sense of truth. I think you start falsifying yourself as a person. Very large problems arise when you start lying about basic things. So we can't do that. We've got to be honest. We've got to be real about what we
won't trust you anymore, Yes. Yeah. And I always mention like, okay, this is working great for me. Doesn't mean it will work for you, but you could try it. It's working great for me. That's what
and that is the best way. That's the beautiful way to measure it. Oh, hello, good to see you. And Nasima, what country are you from again? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Oh, we have a goodbye. Bye, Layla. Love you.
Bye, Layla. Thank you for the questions.
Let's see. I would think that'd be something I'd always wrestle with in your shoes. Yes, it comes up often.
Right.
And I also do, I do modeling and I get offers for things that are, oh wow, that's a little inappropriate. That's outside the bounds of what I'm willing to do with my image. And it comes up. It comes up.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is our next one? Okay, so I had a good question for you, which is what are your current fitness goals? And it's okay if there's not like a big goal, but what do you want to be doing lately with your fitness, Missy?
Yeah, like I've been in the gym for 3 months, like, and I've lost significant weight. I've gone from 69 kg to about 62 kg. So I'm really, really proud of myself. So my goal is to be about 60 kg, but also be quite strong. I want my muscles to be more defined, like in my back and my shoulders, arms and my abs, because I have like some development in my back and I think it looks really good. But I do have a lot of back fat. So I do want to get rid of that, but I love how a muscled back looks. So it looks amazing. I'm like, that's
It's
my goal. To have my
so
like trunk, my upper body snatched. Like I don't think I don't want a six pack. I'm not into like that because I think that's very hard to maintain as well. Like if you can
oh
get
god.
amazing, but it's hard to maintain. So I just want like, some kind of like flat abs, but a really fit back and strong arms because I've got no upper body strength. Truly, I'm very weak, so I really want to build that up. Yeah.
And I love that you mentioned back because few women really think about it. Because, for one thing, it's not a mirror muscle. Like, you can't even see the back in the mirror.
Yes.
But, like a gorgeous, nicely built, nicely shaped back is
Mhm.
just, it's a work of art. It's a work of art worth creating. So I think that's cool. And everyone, if you want to get a little fitness support for your fitness goals, you can join my WhatsApp group. There's a link in the description. We do monthly challenges, and you can talk to me about your goals, and we can work on stuff together. Our current challenge for October is drinking 2 liters of water a day. Water is going to help you. And moving on to talking about exercise. What's your favorite exercise right now?
My favorite exercise. Like I really love working out like my back. So I do love the lateral curl. So the pull
Oh
down
yeah.
this way, this way. I really like doing. And I really love the I don't know what the machine is. You know the machine you have to pull back.
The
Like
cable row?
I
The cable
cable row. It's like it is like a full unit and you have to just pull it back with your shoulders.
row? Okay, maybe it's like isolateral. The machines are different gym to gym.
Yeah. I think I don't know what it's called. I've seen it in a couple of gyms. I love it. But again, it's like the back workout, but it feels so cool. So cool. I love doing that.
We love working back. We gotta film together. We gotta do back workouts together.
Yes.
We'll upload it on both channels. Oh, and what's your least favorite exercise right now?
I'm still trying to do some deadlifting, but I feel so embarrassed because I feel like I keep doing it wrong. I have to keep readjusting, and I actually have tendonitis in my knees, so I can't do too much squatting. So I can't fully squat down, or can't. I've got to be quite careful because the top part tendon above my kneecap is really weak, so I have to be quite careful. Like in my fitness plan, they had to change some stuff. Like I can't do lunges too much or too much squatting. I have to be really, really careful and listen to my body. So it's not, I really like deadlifting, but before I had this injury or this like weakness kind of thing. Now it's my least favorite because I'm like, oh, can I hurt myself? Can I do this? Yeah.
Wow. We had a question here, and I wanted to show it, but we don't have to answer it. So, when were you born? So I think that's an interesting question because I think usually women from not Korea don't like answering that.
Like,
It's
I want you to guess. You guys guess
what
when
year?
I'm on. You can have a guess. I want to see these answers. I won't be offended. I'm genuinely curious.
Oh,
I'm
right.
quite comfortable with my age. I don't get offended. I just want to know.
So we got one. Are you a fashion lover?
Oh yes, I do love fashion. Like today, like online 2 days ago, I bought some black heeled knee-high boots. Today in the Gangnam Underground, I just bought some white heeled boots. I just love fashion and exploring fashion. I did like a thrift haul last weekend. I really love fashion. My money's always wasted. Well, not wasted because going to fashion, it's fine. But I don't have the money I need to be the fashion icon. I want to be even more, like I need more money. I need
I
more money.
I wish there were more resources where we could do a little more. And Pilates said my favorite exercise is sleeping. Wow.
That's a great exercise. I'm not gonna lie.
So we got. Are you a YouTuber? Yes. Me and Missy are both YouTubers. You can check out Missy's channel, and the links are in the description. Missy's Insta's also here. You can see all of her beautiful fashion and what she does. And so does anyone want to join powerlifting? Ryan is a powerlifter. Would you ever be interested in that, Missy?
Is that the really heavy deadlifting kind of thing?
Yes. What I do is bodybuilding. Like, I'm trying to create a shape in my body. I'm trying to make it look a certain way. And there's not a limit on how much I need to lift. Powerlifting is trying to hit certain weights.
Oh, okay. I feel like I would love to try it. I'm not gonna dismiss it, but again, like, because I have the tendonitis, I'm very like pushing my
Gotta wrap you up. gotta put some knee wraps on you. The let's see. We had a. Do you follow sports? I know cricket and in Great Britain they call soccer football.
We call it football. It's football, using your feet. It's football.
I wish I knew why we said soccer because I don't know.
Right, yeah. I think because American football stole the word football, I guess, but it's more like American football is based off rugby, which is from the UK.
Oh.
And then it developed because in rugby, they don't wear any gear. I think they wear groin gear and teeth gear, and that's it. Whereas you guys wear the helmet, the shoulder pads, everything. It's just like a safer version of rugby, I guess. But I actually used to follow football quite a lot when I was younger because I was a little tomboy, loved playing football. But now I don't really follow anything. I'll watch the World Cup with my dad and stuff like that, but I don't religiously follow any football or sports team. Yeah.
The what about cricket? Do you watch cricket?
No idea about cricket. Like, I know it's very popular in like England, Pakistan, and India and Australia. In particular, the Commonwealth. Like, they have the Ashes, which is like the World Cup for cricket. But I don't really follow, and I don't really care about cricket. I find it a bit boring, honestly.
It's maybe it's a typical female thing, but usually we're not like all up in the sports in watching it. So I had a question for you. Who is your fitness role model or body goals person? Is there someone that, like, after your process of working out and getting the way you want to be, someone whose body type you feel like you could resemble or would want to resemble?
I think I do and I don't. It's like I follow the person I got my fitness plan from is from somebody called Sumit Sahani, and she's from America. She's a fitness coach, and she's got an hourglass. I really like an hourglass figure because I have an hourglass body. That's my goal. So no one in particular, but then also I really love Shay Mitchell. But again, I think she's not that hourglassy, but I do like the abs, the back that she has, but I would like that, but a bit more curvy, if that makes any sense.
Yes, and I think it's important for everyone to remember, especially as a woman building your body, that there are things about your bones and your muscles that no matter how much fat you lose or gain, or muscle you lose or gain, your body is going to operate within certain parameters, within certain limits. So being a little flexible with your body goals is important because you're just genetically different.
Yeah, exactly. You can never look exactly like anybody else, so don't try. You could be similar, but you can't be exactly.
And moving on, what is the best advice you've ever gotten? Can be about anything. It can be something simple. Good advice. Always carry an umbrella.
Oh, like, so that's something simple. Always carry an umbrella. For me, it's I would say, let me think. Actually, it's again about this. I'm trying to build my self-esteem again and again because it does fall down. I do get self-conscious. I do get insecure. But this is actually a quote from RuPaul, the drag queen. It's from one of his songs. His quotation is brilliant. It's unless they're paying your bills, pay them beeps, no mind. So unless somebody's paying for your life, paying for your bills, they have no impact on you. They have no pull, no leverage, no control. So they can say things about you all the time. And I think this is when we become self-conscious and self-critical and people-pleasing, when we care too much about other people. So we need to remember these people have no influence and no impact on our lives, really. So why are we paying them mind? Why are we paying them attention? So sometimes I will say that to myself.
Oh, that is good. That is good. And I think so often the criticism we're concerned about receiving is even that we are concerned about it before it happens. There's reacting to actual criticism in the world, and then there's imagining that it will happen.
Yes.
and both But I like that you're honest about still working on it, that
Yeah.
this is something you have to come back to, every day, working on your self-esteem. And what's a piece of advice that people should ignore? Some
Mhm.
advice that you hear maybe commonly said in your field as an influencer
Mm.
or in your field as a teacher that just people should just leave alone.
Mm. I feel there's so much, BS people
Yes.
say to you, and you're just like, it's not even real. And I think one thing is, like, for example, you're teaching, in the UK, they'll say, be mean to the kids until Christmas, and they will build some respect for you, and then after Christmas, you can be nice. And I feel like everyone taught me that, and I think it's a false statement. You need to create a rapport. You need to create a good relationship with your students all the time, from the beginning
Yes.
to all year round. Like, if you have a bad relationship with those kids, they will hate you. They will make your life hell. So, best thing to do is build a relationship with them. Not being so friendly, like, "Hey, friend, okay, do what you want." It's more like, "Okay, yes, I'm a teacher. You're my student. We can have a laugh. We can have a joke, but there's a level of respect between us. We're gonna work hard. We're gonna work together." It's not a, "I'm the teacher. You listen to me." They will lose respect. They will hate you. It's about building a relationship with them that they appreciate and respect you. So I just think that being mean to students or being too strict is like, it's not good for you as a teacher or the students, and it just create tension in your class.
And also, I think you're so right that sense of care as a person. I like you. I care about you. We're trying to create something together here.
Mm.
Is always good. Let's see. Oh, Pilavi said she loves fashion too.
I love that. I love
Let's see. Oh, and the question was, I just can't buy it. Why Christmas? Well, this is the reason. Because am I right, Missy, that also in England, the when does the first semester of the year begin in England?
that. The first year, like the first
Right.
week of September.
The first week of school
Yeah,
happens in September.
yeah, first week of September.
Okay, and in America, school, the first week of the first year, it begins in August. So
Uh,
it's different than Korea. So
mhm.
in Korea, the first week of school begins in March. So the
Yeah,
first semester of the year is like March to July, and the second semester is like August to December.
right.
So the setup is completely different. So when people advise teachers in England or America to be
Mhm.
mean to the kids until Christmas, it means for the first semester, for the
Yes.
first 3 months, be very stern, be very strict and hard. And then after half of the year is finished, you can be
Yeah.
nice.
Mhm.
But you've wasted months
Yeah.
being distant and cold and unkind to the children. How can you
Yeah.
work after?
Mhm.
So we had, let's see, best advice I have from you, Leigh, is drinking a lot of water. It is good for you.
Yeah, it's
And
fantastic.
let's see, there's a fine line between being too good or too strict.
Right.
Exactly. We gotta be in that middle
Be
ground.
pushy, but you can't be too mean. Yeah.
It's always about that balance. Any advice for your younger selves when influencers and YouTubers was not a thing? So your younger selves before you were doing what you're doing now,
Mhm. Um,
and before you even knew that such a thing was going to happen.
yeah. I think that big advice is, again, self-esteem is such a big factor in your life. Like, it will make or break you. No matter what you want to do, career-wise, personal life. If you don't have good self-esteem, it will destroy you. Because I think I grew up in a really like racist town, so I had no self-esteem. Like, everyone would say like I'm ugly and hate me because I wasn't white. So I had no self esteem growing up, like very low, and I just relied on my, personality and my comedy because I'm pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, I am funny. So I rely on my comedy and
Yes.
jokes for people to like me, and I became a people pleaser. But my big advice is to just love yourself, and you don't need to people please anybody. Be genuinely who you are. And if someone likes you, great. If they don't, you don't have to force them to like you. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. My biggest advice is you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Love yourself. You're the best. Like, that is my biggest advice. Yeah.
Oh, darling, thank you. That was beautiful. And I think it would be the same for me because even after becoming a YouTuber influencer in the early days, and even now sometimes, there's still so many moments when it's the self-love or the self-confidence is lacking. It's like, oh God, I can't get in front of this camera because I don't think I'm pretty enough. Like it
Mm,
still happens. It is still happening. And so just to be happy and secure and just build yourself up and love yourself. That is key for what we do for what we do in the future. Let's see. We had a question on walking. Is walking a lot in a day harmful? Well, it depends on what you mean by a lot, but almost all doctors recommend 6 to 10,000 steps. That's 1 to 2 hours of walking in a day. Probably not going to hurt you. If you're walking like 3, 4, 5 hours, maybe,
yeah.
but probably not.
I think it's because you're used to it. You'd have to like build up the stamina to do a lot of walking. But yeah, because you could just be like, I'm so exhausted, collapse. Next day, your legs are killing me, you got cramped. So I think it's building up to like an increased step count, you know.
Oh, that's a good point. That no matter what you do, it should not be done all at once. It should be done kind of gradually.
Mm.
So let's see. This is a good one. This is one I wanted to ask you. How has a failure or an apparent failure set you up for a later success? How did an obviously bad thing lead to a really great thing later?
I see. Actually, as you know, I did teacher training, and then in my third year of my bachelor's degree as a primary school teacher, I actually wasn't successful at my placement. And I thought my life was over. I've like done 3 years of teaching degree. I'm never going to get a job in a school. And then actually, I had a previous placement in my second year in a high school with ESL students. And I was like, do you know what? That's the only time I really enjoy teaching because I didn't enjoy teaching in the primary school, like not because of the little kids, because staff in primary schools are insane. They act like the children and they're
Oh,
very creepy and very, if you don't, if you're not like, I don't know how to say it without swearing, but if you're not chasing them and going, hi, you're not brown nosing, going, oh, hi, what do you need? And if you're not like that, they hate it. And I'm not like that. They don't like it. So I was like, I need to work in high school because high school's got more staff and everyone's just a bit more calm. And then after I failed that placement, I thought, I'm never getting a teaching job again. What am I going to do? And I rang them up. I said, hi, do you remember me? I was working with you a year ago. Have you got any vacancies? They said, okay, we've got some supply work that you can do for 2 weeks. And then there's also an interview in 2 weeks' time. So if you want to do that, you can come in and do that. So I did that. And I worked there for 3 years. It's honestly one of my favorite jobs I've ever had in the world is that teaching job. So I failed at one of my placements, and this university was like, you're never going to get a job in school, even though I have a degree in education. They were like, it's not enough. And they really put me down as awful, awful time in my life. So that was such a horrible time that switched up to like the best place, like one of the best places I've ever worked at. So sometimes like, you think you're on one path. I was on one path to be a primary school teacher. And then I became a high school teacher, and I prefer high school kids now, and high school environments is great.
and I love to hear about things like that because in everyone's life, there are so many points where it just feels like the end and you're miserable and you're maybe crying and it's just, you don't know how it's going to work out. And then it's the very thing that pushes you where you need to be. So that's a good example. Okay, everyone, we got about 2 more minutes left. Let's get in your final questions for Missy. Missy, this is one for you to think about while I look at any of the final comments. For me, fitness means. What do you think about that?
Fitness means health. I think it's more than just being working at the gym, doing an exercise. It's more about being healthy. Like I've really learned to create more stamina, like really raise my stamina. And what is it called when you raise your like heart rate or whatever it's called?
Well,
More.
right. Elevating your heart rate,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Or
Like
V-
that was
VO2 max is a thing too when you raise your overall capacity for cardio.
yes, that is it. Because I feel like I'm less tired walking upstairs. I still do it, but like I'm not out of breath anymore. I'm not exhausted. So for me, it's also like health. in general. Like it's improved my mental health, my physical health, quite a lot. So fitness is health to me.
Oh, and that's beautiful too, because it's so easy to make fitness about just a look, just an aesthetic, just having a certain body. But you bring up like walking the stairs, like being able to move through your life in a healthy manner. And I like that. So for me, fitness means a healthy body. Thank you. And we got another thank you for the interview today. That was awesome. Well, Missy, thank you for coming. And I love talking to you in live streams or in the actual world. So everyone, once again, my Insta is this is fit underscore Leigh, and Missy's Insta is Missy ASTB underscore. And her YouTube and Insta, everything is in the links. Please follow, like, and subscribe, and just be all up in her content because she has such great stuff about beauty and travel and expat life in general. So, Missy, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for Leigh. I really love this interview. I love working together with you, meeting up with you. It's fantastic. And thank you all the wonderful questions from the lovely people. All amazing, really sweet, really lovely questions. Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.